Hello everyone, welcome to the National Defense Institute. So here today in this video we will be covering about the CDS, Combined Defense Service previous year questions, and exclusively this video is typically made for the subject of geography, and if you want the discussions with respect to other subjects, there will be other videos that will be on the channel. Kindly do subscribe. So here today we will discuss about the CDS 2. That's the second terms examination of the year 2022. So, as we know, there are analysis that has to be done with respect to geography. So here, what I want to tell you is, with respect to topic-wise breakup, as you can see in this pie chart. So, geography consists of two major concepts. One is your physical geography, and another with respect to your Indian geography. So along with these two, there are a number of questions that has been arising from the maps based. So what is your duty is to cover holistically with these things and this maps associated attached with the current affairs. So in this context, let me dive into this distribution of the questions, how they have asked. So this time, Indian geography has taken the upper hand. That is, it has out of almost 22 questions, your 12 questions have been taken from your Indian geography, and exclusive Indian geography concepts you can find in this image. Before going to that, so in the physical geography, as I told you, we have some of the questions of from the solar system, especially two questions. Usually, this area is somewhat asked more in the earlier days, but now this area is given a little less prominence, but that has been shifted to other parts of the physical geography. Especially geomorphology is the one area where the questions have been increased, and also your climatology. So these two concepts are the one which is actually playing a bigger role in the physical geography. And the oceanography has taken a back seat. It has only one question has been asked, and also the environmental geography has been asked. Only one question has been asked. So here, in Indian geography, as I told you, we have 12 questions. So since each carries 2.5 marks, it's important here. So the river system is the one which has been for 2 marks, and the forest-based question and human geography, we have 2 questions, and physiography, Indian physiography. So these days have 2 questions, and the minerals, lakes, industries, and geological timeline. So along with this, Indian geography comprises of 12 and physical geography almost 10. So total it is summing up to 22 questions. So if you take that of the entire days, the geography is having a very prominent role, and we have different areas that has to be covered. But holistically, if we are seeing, they have covered almost all they have touched all the parts of the physical geography, and also they have touched all the parts of the Indian geography. So we can go, before going to the exact questions, we also can see some of the questions with respect to each topic based. So here you guys can see in geomorphology, as I told you, there have been 4 questions that have been asked. So here in the rocks, the questions related to rocks has been asked. I mean, 2 questions here have been getting, and another coastal landforms, and also the question from the earthquake. So entirely geomorphology, these are the areas what they have touched this time, and the climatology. Climatology is a very good area and a very potential area to be asked. But this time they have asked the question with respect to inversion of temperature and the clouds. And the question of with respect to inversion of temperature is kind of a moderate to difficult level. So here majorly concept based what they have asked. And inversion of the it's a direct hit question. Only one question they have asked, that is with respect to the ocean currents they have asked. And as I told you in environmental geography, we have one question with respect to that is a directed question that is with respect to the plants, and in solar system we have 2 questions. 2 questions are basically with respect to the other planets. All right. So This is what the entire people geographies detailing we have, and hopefully this thing will help you, and you can go for the questions. So here, the very first question what they have asked is, hey, UPSC, the questions are basically picked not just randomly on the concept, but they are picked carefully with respect to when you have the current affairs running with respect to the concept or the issue. So here, the very first question is, which one of the following is the first and oldest government-owned coal mining company in India? So why this question might have been picked is in the recent year of 2022, there was an issue with respect to the coal supply, especially for the government-owned industries or the companies, and the power supply. For example, almost all the thermal power plants are majorly still relying on the coal as the major source. So for that, the coal exploration and the coal exploitation in India, of course, we have rich coal fields, but the main important thing is the calorific value of the coal. What we have in India is something like sub-bituminous. So anthracite is a top level coal. We do import. So because of that slump in the raw materials, especially the coal. So for thermal, private players have been given an upper hand this time to exploit the coal source in the entire India. So for that only they might have asked this question, and that was the major issue. That's why they were asking the government owned one here. So which was the government owned? See, these are all the sum of the major coal fields what we have in India. So with respect to this, what we have to understand is we have to know, as I told you, it's related to Indian geography. So with respect to minerals, they have asked here, the answer is actually the Coal India Limited that was formed around 1956. So here this was one of the oldest. Why? Because earlier during post-independence, the private players were not having much money, or they were not given much importance to explore the coal. So they were, it was just an infant country, and the government has to step in to make the facilitation, and the economy has to run. For that only, government has owned and has taken that role, but now that has been, a shift has been taking place because the private players are giving the upper hand. So that's why this my question might have asked. This is a very direct question. If you are touch, you have a good touch with the current affairs and ongoing news, you can easily attend this question, and you don't have to remember something like first and oldest or something static. But if you are in the current affairs, you can easily answer. So answer you can go for this is the C. So that is the Coal India Limited. So you can see the next question. Which one of the following is a tributary of Bharat River? See, this exam CDS2 has been conducted by the month of September. So what you have to keep in mind is that before 6 months, exclusive current affairs you have to remember, because that is one of the important things that will give you the mark. So here what you can do is and they are giving the clues that is in the Manipur. So Bharat River is one of the important along the northeastern states, like what we have. The Assam region, Manipur, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, and Tripura. The Bharat River actually flows in this region. This is the northeast. So here, when you have the single words in your options, the one way or one clue or one clue method, what you can use is, you can go for one of the things who is an odd man out. So odd man out will be the major answer. So either three will be having some sort of similarities. So here, see, the question is very simple. Tributary of the Bharat River, we are asking. So you need not to know the tributaries of Bharat River because it's a somewhat a minor river. But as per our syllabus, we will be covering the major river like Brahmaputra, Ganges, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, and Indus. So these are all the some of the major rivers and the tributaries we will be knowing. So if you know all those tributaries, you need not to worry about any of the river that has been given in a very odd manner. For example, here we know that Subansiri and Dansiri are the tributaries of Brahmaputra. They are the tributaries of the Brahmaputra. And also the Manas is a tributary of Ganges. So with this, you can easily eliminate these three and narrow down to the answer that Daleswari, even though if you have not heard about the where exactly or what is the tributary of the Bharat River. So with this reverse engineering, you can use or come to the answer that which one of the tributaries of the Bharat River, that is the Daleswari. So here what I am testing you here is the current affairs are actually playing an important role. So you have to be in touch with the current affairs. So this is one of the very good question which is on the forest based as we discussed in the earlier slide. So here they are asking which types of vegetation will you find on the way as you travel from Bikaner to Konark by road, by shortest distance they are asking. Only one of the important things what you have to remember is you should know where these cities are. I told something like in the starting of the video, maps are taking a very beautiful role during these days. So that's why you should know where exactly these cities are present first, in which state. Then if you figure out this one, you can come to the answer or narrow down to the proper option. So here, see, first I want to tell you, they are asking about the vegetation. That is from which place to which place you are going and what is the vegetation you will counter. So they are given the option here, tropical thorny, desert moss, deciduous, desert, tropical thorny moss, like that. 4 options have been given. So first, what I want to tell you is, see, you should know where exactly is Bikaner, for example. Here, Bikaner is one of the city on the western side of the Rajasthan, and Konark is on the Odisha. So if you know the representative or distribution of the major forest in India, majorly our Indian forest is basically of deciduous type. Why deciduous type? The climate is overlapping the forest. That means we have the monsoon rainfall. That monsoon rainfall is usually having the seasonal rainfall. That means that is the one of the important reason why we have the deciduous period, because they shed leaves when they are in summer and they grow. Take the reason that is in the rainy season. So for that only, the major of the area in India what we have is deciduous forest. So now what is the point they are asking? If you are going from this Bikaner to Konark, what are the forests you are seeing? See, first example, very important thing what you have named, because it is Rajasthan. So what is the major type of vegetation we have in Rajasthan? Either desert or we have thorny. So since it is the first one, so we can see, I told you in the western side of the entire Rajasthan is majorly a desert. So that is actually the later if you come from that angle, your vegetation starts to increase. For that only, so here, the very first thing you have to find out is if you're starting from Bikaner, your forest vegetation must be start with desert. So wherever you have the first word as a desert, you can come to that. So you can eliminate easily A and C because that is not the moist condition. You cannot see moist condition in the desert or in case of your Rajasthan. But there is one more thing, tropical thorny. But instead of tropical thorny, you have desert. That is how the vegetation will be increasing. So you have desert. So you have 2 things. And see your second option, they have tropical thorny in both the things. Next, so you don't have to worry about that. And next, we have moist deciduous, but here they have given mangrove. So we all know that, friends, mangrove is along some of the coastal regions, the forest which is present in the brackish water region, where your freshwater and saltwater combination is there. So the obvious answer what we can go for with these 2 is option B. So this is how you can eliminate from the reverse order, coming from the options. So if you know the place, if you're not knowing, just you have to go through the options. There will be certain clue that will be given. So with respect to that, we have this one that is using the Bikaner as the clue. The starting option has to have your desert. So with having that and the ending vegetation has to be given your mangrove. So answer for this question can be your B. That is desert, tropical thorny, moist deciduous and mangrove. So that is with respect to Indian forest question. So next, we'll go for the next question. This is also somewhat a static question, but why they have asked this one is because it is majorly it was in the news. Why this Kareva formations was in much news. So here, this Karevas, where do you find this Karevas? This is somewhat found in the geomorphology and even Indian physiography also. So here, why it was in news is along this Karevas are somewhat the deposits that is present along the Jammu and Kashmir region, or somewhere you have your Kirpanjal range, Dauladar range, that range. So here, this Karevas is one of the plains, the deposits when the Indian plate merged with the Asian plate, there was a Tethys Sea. So this Tethys Sea was the one. There was an upheaval of this Tethys Sea that took place, and that itself has been folded as your Mount Himalayas. So in the news, this Karevas deposits that were formed along the north of India, that means when they have collided in this region, this has been now exploited because of the construction of road to connect the Ular Lake and some of the border roads. So for that has been a major threat for the vegetation or the cultivation for the farmers that have been present over there. So this is one of the deposits earlier when the land has some sort of lake earlier. So this land itself has been upheaved. So the lake that is present, all the water has been flown down, and the deposits what it is there, that is the actual Kareva deposits. So of course, these Kareva deposits are the lacustrine deposits of Pleistocene period. These are found along the lower slopes of the Kirpanjal range. Karevas are well known for the cultivation of saffron, almond, and walnut. So this is some kind of a purely, it is the same similar statements have been given in your NCRTs. You can refer that, and even that has been covered in your that will be covered in our classes also. So here the Karevas are, they're asking is how many of the above statements are correct. So here the Karevas are your lacustrine deposits of Pleistocene period. What is this Pleistocene period? That is exactly seen in your geological timeline. As I told you, India collided with the Asian plate, so it has its own geological timeline. So of course, this lacustrine deposits were found in the Pleistocene period. So option 1 is right. So then they are found along the lower slopes of Kirpanjal. This is also right. Karevas are well known for the saffron, almond, walnut. Of course, this is exactly. So the answer is C. Say, friends, the question, this one is very directly question. It's a statement question, but the importance what they have given is with respect to the current affairs they have taken this. So this is a very potential area. If you are knowing about the Karevas, you will be obviously knowing all those things. And if you know this, you cannot miss the right answer, and the answer will be obviously 3. So one of the statements is correct. It is number of statements is 3. That is your C and option. So we'll go for the next question. So here also this question is basically with respect to Indian geography, and it's a very good one associated with the rocks and minerals. We consider the following statements about an Indian state. They are asking about some state, but they are giving some clue with respect to the statements. So what is the clue? It is well known globally for its variety of rocks and minerals. It has the largest deposits of chrysotile asbestos. Asbestos, what is asbestos? It is of course a non-metallic mineral. So it's a non-metallic minerals. And we'll see that. And they are telling the Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy Sagar Hydel project is located in this place. I think you guys can easily eliminate the wrong answers, come to the right answer with the only option 3. Because the name Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy could give you a proper clue. Of course, along with that, what we have is chrysotile asbestos. These are all the things which have been, and here they are giving one more option, well known global. So see, of course, as I told you, your Jharkhand is a place where you have much of your metallic minerals because there is a Gotanagar Plateau region. Rajasthan, of course, you have your another copper depositions. And in Chhattisgarh, of course, this Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh comes along this, but there are giving one another clue, non-metallic. If you see Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh, they are all majorly metallic minerals region. And in Rajasthan, of course, non-metallic minerals are present, but here they are telling something about the Hydel project. And with the physiography of Rajasthan, we know that in Rajasthan we have only few rivers like Luni and Sabarmati, small rivers that are flowing, and idle power project is something that cannot be practically possible, and that's why in order to overcome that only we are doing the Indira Canal project. So only left out is your Andhra Pradesh. So as we know, Andhra Pradesh region is majorly made up of the Kadapa rock system. So Kadapa rock system, that is one of the important and major rock systems what we have in India. It is also one of the ancient rock systems. So here majorly sedimentary rocks, non-metallic minerals are all much present. So if you see the along three statements, what is the best answer? What we can narrow down is what is the answer is Andhra Pradesh. So friends, what I'm telling you is there are other options that is present, but what we have to do is why it is not linked properly with the options that have been given or the statements that have been given. So you have to analyze that. So instead of making a wild guess, you have to go for an intelligence guess. So this is something you could do when you know have a proper concept understanding. Even if you're not knowing exactly this is the state, with the options available and with the statements available, you can come to the answer. So that is what I just wanted to tell you. So that is with respect to the question 5. Then we are going to the question 6. As I told you, the ocean of they have asked only one question, and that's also very simple level question. Which one of the following do not influence the ocean currents? Say, ocean currents. Okay, I'll just read the options. Heating by solar energy, wind, gravitational pull by sun and moon, Coriolis force. See, of course, ocean currents as the one of the things which actually driven by the temperature difference. When do you have your temperature difference majorly? That is because of the solar energy. Of course, that has to influence the ocean current. So answer cannot be that one. And wind, of course, as we all know, with respect to the upwelling or the downwelling in South America, when the winds are blowing like this, the cold current that is flowing along the Caribbean will be somewhat shifted because of the wind influence, and there will be an upwelling, and that upwelling will make you a good fishing grounds. So we have seen that is also one of the another influencing factor for the ocean currents. But gravitational pull of sun and moon. Still, this is something has something sort of Laconian statement. Okay, let's go for the fourth one. That is Coriolis force. Of course, as we have discussed, Coriolis force is one of the important for the discussion of wind and your ocean currents. It is deflecting the wind or ocean current right side in the northern hemisphere and left side in the southern hemisphere. So the proper answer what we can go for is C. And the another justification what I wanted to give you here is see in the water ocean movements of ocean water we have two types. One is horizontal, another is vertical. In horizontal we have wind, another one is ocean current, and in the vertical we have tides. So this tides is majorly associated with this gravitational pull and not your ocean currents. So that is also another way what we can come to the answer that which is the not influencing factor of ocean current is this one. All right. So that is why I'm telling you, you have a clear-cut background of subjects and the concept. You don't have to rely much on the some of the action together because geography questions are basically based on the concept oriented. So if you know that, with that you can come to the answer, and that will be your C. What is the gravitational pull is not the one that is influencing your ocean currents. All right. So next question. This is a very simple question. Which one of the following sedimentary rock has not been formed mechanically? This is one of the things. See, they are asking about the sedimentary rock. Of course, your sandstone is a sedimentary rock because of your weathering. That is the lithification process. You are getting your sedimentary rock. Conglomerate is one of the things, and your viscera is another thing. What is lower sea is the some of the depositional feature that has been seen in the wind landforms that is found around the desert region. So it is not actually an actual rock that has been formed. that is the scattered deposits along with the desert, and if it is the another land that is starting, you will be having sand dunes, parabolic sand dunes like Barchans and all. The wind will be blowing, and the wind that carries some of the small sediments and that have been deposited over the outer edge of the desert, that depositional feature called as rose. So that cannot be a rock, and that is the one thing what they are doing and asking the thing has not been found because of the mechanically. The answer is not there. Like, you know, there are some type of odd man out series. If you have simple word option for the field, these are all of course rock. This is not actually rock. The starting stage, that is your sedimentary or the depositional landform that can be seen in the desert region. So that is simple one. Now, this is what the question with respect to climatology, as I told you. So this climatology concept, what the question they have asked is, which of the following statements about the inversion of temperature is correct? So what is inversion of temperature? If you know means, you can easily come attend this question. Even though if you are not attending, let's see if there are any clues given in the statement. The temperature increases with increasing altitude. Then along winter night with clear sky is an ideal situation, which is a short-term phenomena and is common all over the globe, except at the poles. See, there are certain clues, as I told you, all over the world. Here they are given. Globe, except it is something like contradictory words and some kind of a extreme statement also. So keeping that in mind, let's see what is temperature in. With increasing altitude, what is usual condition due to surface? If you are going to the higher altitude, so temperature is decreasing. That is a normal condition. Here, what is the question? The point is inversion of temperature. Of course, when you go for the higher altitude, the temperature is increasing. Yes, that question, the statement is right. So when you have your answer, 1. So wherever you have 1, that has to be right. So you can eliminate option B. Then a long winter night with clear sky is the ideal situation. Of course, in order to happen the temperature inversion, you should have this clear skies. For example, this is the normal condition, and the condition for setup this one is, for example, if you are having the clouds, means whatever the terrestrial radiation that has been given out from the earth will be absorbed by the clouds, and that clouds will warm up the situation or warm up the region of this one, and that might be not conducive for the temperature inversion. So of course option 2 is also right. So you can eliminate with C. First 2 has to be there in the answer, and only you have to gamble is not 3. So it's a short-term phenomenon and it's common all over the globe except at the poles. So this is something. See, I tell you, temperature inversion that happens when you have the surface and the nearest air. So when you have the temperature of this surface is dropped down, the nearest temperature of the nearest air will also have gain the temperature because the convection. So as you go away from the surface, the temperature starts to increase. So that is what I'm telling you. In the polar condition, it will be cool. So up to a certain level, what happens? If you go to higher elevation, the temperature is increasing. What we can see in the polar region is this kind of an inversion of temperature can be witnessed throughout the year. So this statement has to be wrong. So answer what we can go for is 8. So I told you this is somewhat a good level question, moderate to difficult level, but it can be easily addressed if you know the actual concept of our inversion of temperature. All right. So we're going for the next question. So in which one of the following state or union territory is the Lake Songo? This is a Songo. It is a very simple question. No much complication, but the static it's just like a fact. See, there are many thousands of lakes in India. How can I remember those thousands of lakes? That's why I told you, if the exam is there, past 6 months current affairs is very important, exclusively with respect to geography. So here they are asking lakes of small. So here the lake was in use. Why it was in use? Because this lake is actually, I'll tell you the answer, it is present in Sikkim region. Why it is? See, there is a highway earlier in Sikkim. This is the Sikkim state. Here we have Bhutan, here we have Nepal, here we have China. So it has some pass along that pass is called as Natula Pass. So this Natula Pass has been joined with this Songo Lake with a highway where that will come to have your capital Bangkok. So this highway was originally named as the Jawaharlal Nehru, but now this highway has been named as Narendra Modi Path. So it has been renamed for that. So for that, this lake that was been connected has been asked in the question. So that is the way they have asked, and if you are not much aware about the current affairs, it might be a difficult one, and you can go, there is no concept behind this to just do anything like this. So you might be difficult for that. So I recommend you to have a proper test with the current affairs for these kind of a question. If you of course a map test, a current affairs features. So kindly be aware about that. Next question. This is about the coasts of India. This is a very good question with respect to Indian geography. Kindly just follow. So these are the following statements about the coasts of India. The question is the west coast of India is high rocky, retreating coast. The west coast of India is dominated by erosional landforms. The east coast of India, however, is a low sedimentary coast exhibiting depositional landforms. See, for this, you should know some of the concepts of Indian western coast and eastern coast. If you know that, that would be helpful. See, we have major of the rivers going from the western Ghats towards the eastern side. Because of physiography, the plane itself of second Ghat orientation itself is like that, and we have only small western plane exploring rivers. Alright, so here, as we have discussed, our coastal shelf is somewhat broader in the northern side and southern, and this is somewhat wider along the entire region. So you people know, I think this one, you have your continental shelf, slope, rise and plain. So I'm not going much deep into that. Here, with respect to the west coast, it's a high rocky retreating coast. What do you mean retreating? Okay, fine. Before that, we'll go to this. West coast of India dominated by erosional landforms. Here they are talking about depositional landforms. Of course, these two are right. Why? Because we have some of the major rivers flowing. They carry all the sediments and doing the deposition. That's why we have Krishna, Godavari Delta, Krishna Delta, Kaveri Delta. But here we are not seeing any sort of deltas. We are having estuaries. And that is why it is helping make the natural conditions for the port development. And of course, there are a lot of erosional landform like gorges and other things that have been witnessed here. So option 2 and 3 is exclusively right. And where you have 2 and 3, these two options, and this can be eliminated. And 1 you have to check. The west coast of India is a high rocky retreating coast. Of course, it's the emerging coast. We call it as not emerging, it will be called a retreating coast because there are no deposition. Since it is deposited here, it is something called an emerging coast. We call the eastern coast as an emerging coast. So answer what we can go through is 1, 2, 3. So it is a basic understanding. If you know the physiography of India, you can easily attend this question. That is the one of the important area what they have touched. Next question. This is also one of the important simple one. A direct question. Which one of the following states university has the largest area of the coral reefs? I'm not taking much time for this question. Coral reefs. Where do coral reefs go? You know, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Andaman Nicobar, Lakshadweep. Of course, wherever you have the coastline, you can have your fringing reef. Fringing becomes your barrier reef. Barrier reef becoming your atoll. So these are your, and coral reefs are majorly found because of the coral polyps. So we know Lakshadweep is one of the important union territories that is majorly made up of your coral reef island. What about Andaman Nicobar? It is an extension of the Himalayan island. So of course, these two have coral reefs, but what I'm telling is Lakshadweep is one of the major state union territory. What we have majorly made up of your coral reefs. So that was a very simple question. Then this is also one of the another simple question with respect to solar system. Atmosphere of planet Venus is made up of thick and yellowish cloud. Why they might have asked Venus is by 2023 next year, we are planning to launch a mission for the Venus, like the name is Shiprayan by ISRO. And the ongoing mission, there are certain things that were running in the news. That's why they might have asked Venus. Why they are studying Venus? We have discussed that, we know that it's also called as Earth's twin. So, Earth's twin. So, what we know is almost the size shape, everything is with respect to Venus is similar to the Earth. That's why we call it Earth. Earth's twin, and it's also called a leading star or morning star. And we know it is one of the hottest planets. Why it is hottest planet? Even though it is somewhat far from the sun, we have Mercury and we have Venus. Because this Venus atmosphere is majorly made up of CO2 and of course sulfuric acid. These two are the major components of your atmosphere of the Venus. Like why CO2 is making that presence is making the one much of your atmosphere to be more heat. Because in India, in Earth also, we have CO2 that will be acting as your much of your greenhouse gas effect. So because of that only we are trying to eliminate the carbon dioxide. So this is one of the important thing what we have, the sulfuric acid. It's a direct question. You can answer that. And that was in news. That's why the last one. This is the one of the thing. Another thing with respect to river. This is also important one. See here, drainage pattern of the river they are asking. Match the list with the drainage pattern and your feature. See, when they are asking this kind of matter problem, they are easy to attend. Only thing, if you know one or two is the proper one. I'll tell you, see here, insequent. For that, you know, you'll be knowing something about consequent. I'll tell you. What is consequent? Along the slope. The river flows along the slope without any disturbance. So that means the flow in the same direction. See, okay. So this whose course is determined by the original slope of the land is your consequent river. See, B is 4. B is 4. So either you have this one. You can eliminate option A and option D. And you have to check the other options also. See, when B is 4, you can go for C1. So you need not to worry about that. That means the one whose direction of the flow is controlled by the rock. So subsequent, that is fixed already because this is giving you the another advantage. Only thing you have to check with the 2 and 3. So consequent flow. Consequent is the one of the one flowing the same direction as the A is 3. Insequent. Insequent is the one of the one which is flowing the same direction as the consequent stream, but at a lower level. That is your insequent, and resequent is the no apparent reason why that is flowing. So what I'm telling you friends here, if you know what is consequent, you can easily enter. And here only they are giving the clue. See here, it is flowing the same direction as a consequent stream. So your B cannot come with 3. B is not at all 3. So you can eliminate that and you can use this clue with the insequent. So consequent inside is your insequent. So this is one of the good question, informative one. If you are aware about the actual drainage system, you will be attending. This is also one of the direct hit question. Which one of the following processes leads to a expansion of certain minerals as they take up water, causing additional stress? See, if there is rock here, the water is there, the water will cool down, it will freeze, will add some stress. And when it is warm, that will melt and that will flow. So the major thing what we have is your hydration here. You should know what is hydrolysis, oxidation, carbonation. So answer is directly is your hydration, because we might have studied in the soil, black soil will become your yellow soil, sorry, not black soil, your red soil will become yellow soil when it has more water content, that is it more hydrated. So that is the one thing, that is nothing but your hydration. Oxidation, carbonation and hydrolysis are different. Carbonation is where you have your carbon dioxide reacting much of your oxygen, that is causing carbonic acid. And oxidation is something you can see in your rusting of the iron. So that is another process. Here hydrolysis is different. The answer we can go for is your hydration. Next question. Indian desert, also known as Marustali, is believed to be under the sea during which of the following era? See, guys, today we have Rajasthan as a desert, this region. But earlier, when the Indian plate was attached to African plate and it was detached and moving towards the India, some of the formation of the things has led that to be found of your desert. And because of wind flow direction, because Aravalli is there and no much rainfall is happening, that is also another reason. But earlier to that, it was a majorly your forest region. If you have dig that forest region, you have some of the marine fossils that are present, and that's why we have a Indira Gandhi water canal project that is going to be pumping the water to this region to make the cultivation easier, because that soil is not something sterile one. So it is a fertile soil, but the thing is lack of water. For that only this question is easily attainable. So believed to be under the sea during which one of the following era they are asking. I told you something, geological timeline is there now. The geological timeline. So like that we have age, period, epoch, era, and eon. So like that they are asking that is falling in which era. So answer is very simple. It is Mesozoic era. During the Mesozoic era only, our Indian plate started shifting towards the Asian plate, drifting, and that drifting down your Himalayas, and that is how your forest region of the Rajasthan has become today's desert. So it is a direct question. That is what they have asked here. Then India is still a young country as median age of population. This might be helpful where, because recently we are surpassing China by 2023 itself. So we have one of the good youngest population. So answer is B, between 25 to 30 we are having that one. So excuse me. So it's a direct one because the population is surging, and there's also source or the statistics might be even in your economic survey. So kindly you have to go to economic survey also, which is attached to the human geography. So this is what we discussed as well, human geography, because the age and the population. So here our India is already was like a upright pyramid. Now only we are having our some of the younger age population is somewhat stagnating because of the development, economic development, and the age old population is also somewhat increasing. So death rate has been decreased, and the institutional births, maternal mortality scheme, and child infancy, infant birth rate, everything has been now increased, and that is why we have much of a youngest population, and India will be. So what is the thing is we are having good demographic development. So this is one of the simple question with respect to the geomorphology. Which one of the following is the other term used for focus in relation with the earthquake? See, these are all easy questions. If you have studied earthquake, you know this is the focus where the seismic wave will be originated. That is going to be hitting the surface. We call that as your epicenter. So epicenter cannot be the answer. Isocenter is not something what you have heard. Principal point. So answer is your focus. Focus is another term that can be used for your hypocenter or inter or synonym for both the things. So that is what the meaning they are asking here, and it is also simple. And these are all low hanging fruits. You should not miss at all. So these are all very simple questions where you can easily fetch the mark. So this is one of the things. Which one of the following is not a mountain peak of Andaman and Nicobar? They are asking. See here. This is the one of the very good question. Why they have asked this question is answer is, I'll tell you, it is C. Lots of peak. Why is recently Indian from Maharashtra has been scaled that one. Scaled this peak, and he is the second Indian. So this is actually falling along the Nepal Sikkim region of the Nepal Sikkim region, where it is acting like the fourth highest peak. First we know it's Mount Everest, then we have K2, then Kanchenjunga, and then what we have is your Lhasa peak. So that is the fourth highest peak that has been scaled recently by second India as a second one. So that's why they have asked. So Saddle Peak, Mount Fulier, Mount Diavolo. So these are all not something the peak that is. They are all the peak that is present along the Andaman. So this is not the one. So you should know that why they have asked this. As I told you, the map based. If they are asking me, that is especially with respect to the current affair. So this is also one of the things with climatology. Very simple question. Cloud form and their characteristic they are asking. You know, cirrus, cumulus, nimbostratus, stratus, and they are telling. See, cirrus cloud. Where do cirrus cloud? This is one of the topmost feather kind of a cloud that has been found in the highest level. When that is highest level, it should have some of the icy particles. So answer can be your 4. So A is 4, 4, and automatically 2, 2 is matched. That means D is 2. You don't have to worry about that. Only thing you have to worry is B and C. So these two are wrong. And C, nimbostratus. See, nimbus clouds. You know, they are the rain bearing clouds. They only should have your storm clouds, no? And cumulus cloud, fair weather cloud. So answer can be your A is 3, so A is 4, B is 3, answer can be your C. So this is how what I told you is the match of following. You can easily attend the match of following questions if you know 1 or 2 right answers. The answer can be your C. So that is the simple question with climatology. Then this is also a direct question. Which one of the following planets has the largest number of satellites? They are asking. So earlier, there is a confusion now between we know Jupiter was the earlier one which was having the much of the satellites. Now it is a Saturn having almost 83. And the major moon, what is the Titan? So answer is D. These are all the direct questions that have been directly given in the NCERTs. So you don't have to search which of your sources. If you rely on NCERTs, you can easily attend these questions. So largest number of satellites, and of course, which is the planet doesn't have a satellite is here, Mercury and your Venus. These 2 planets doesn't have their own satellite. Okay. This is the environmental related question. Recently in India, especially in South India, some of the 4 to 5 wetlands have been awarded under Ramsar Convention. So these are the convention that is exclusively Ramsar is a place in your Iran city. So that is majorly done for the wetland preservation. So it's a very direct question, easy one. If you are touching with your current affairs, it's usually attended. Promote afforestation, no action plan, climate change, farmer desertification, no. This is a wetland preservation one. That is a Ramsar Convention. Why they have asked you? Therefore, in the month of August, only they have awarded some of the Indian wetlands coming under your Ramsar Convention. That is why they have asked that. And these are the questions that have been asked in the previous CBS questions, CBS paper. So for the further year, previous year questions, kindly watch the other videos. Thank you.